And welcome to Hero Power. I'm your host, Avanties, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Zerotio.
What is up, gang? Before we get started in the show proper, I do want to take a second before we actually get started, if you don't mind, Avantis.
No, go right ahead.
This past week, we had some really sad news that one of our THL members and part of our pod people, our 5 season on the pod people team, Kazuda Root, passed away in his sleep due to complications with pneumonia. He was 36 years old, married with a 3-year-old daughter, and I just want to dedicate this episode to him. I'm not going to go into a lot of details on it. I believe Ridiculous Hats made some public posts about it. He's looking into recovery efforts and donations for his family. And once he has that information, a Hero Power podcast will be happy to disseminate that via Twitter. So keep following us at Hero Power _cast on Twitter for any news on that. But you're going to be missed, Kaz. We love you. And you were taken away from us too soon.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. In other news, we would like to welcome back patron Surgie. Thank you.
Yes.
We always love it when people come back. So
yeah, Surgie's taken some time away from Hearthstone from the community for a while, and got back in and saw our kind of shout out about our Discord. Was like, hey, let me get back into the Hero Power Discord and decided to become a patron again. Which is great. We really appreciate that. We're actually going to be playing a deck that he put in our patron-only Discord this week. So I'm really excited to do that as well.
Yep. I'm really looking forward to playing the deck this week. I have not played it yet, so I'm going in blind because I didn't have all the cards for it. And I had to go finish up the solo content to unlock Sky General Crag. Did that right before the show started, so I am ready to check this deck out. It's going to be a lot of fun. But before we get into all of that, we do have a little bit of news to talk about. Not a whole lot, but last week the Masters Tour Arlington was underway when we were recording the show. We had 3 of our final 4 players done at that point. Went on to find out our winner of Masters Tour Arlington was in fact one of those French players that we talked so much about last week, X Blizes.
Yeah, so we had 3 of the top 4 were French, which we saw this at what I believe it was Masters Tour Seoul, where Felkine ended up taking it, which catapulted him into Grandmasters. So once again, we have 3 of the top 4 in Masters Tour Arlington, which is really notable because that's in the United States, a much longer trip than either going to Bucharest or Seoul or any of those other ones. So I guess the question I have is France poised to take over Hearthstone Esports? And furthermore, are they underrated?
That's a very good question. And France has had really good showings in the past. It's not like this is something new and they've come out of nowhere. But especially in the last couple of tournaments, France has had really strong showings. And I feel like maybe their community over there is a little tighter knit and they know something we don't know.
I would agree with that. Now because we didn't say exactly who the winner was, I don't think it's X Blizes.
Yeah. So
was who ended up taking the win. But the thing with France is, unlike any of the other countries, they don't have individual streamers for Hearthstone. They have one Hearthstone stream channel. If you want to be a French Hearthstone streamer, you get with this organization, and then you just get in their rotation of streamers, and they split the money and they split their practice time together. But to me, it seems like all of the competitive French Hearthstone players work together much more tightly. You'll notice a lot of their lists are almost 120 to 120 card identical. Of these top four players, two of them had identical lineups. Then the other two had three of their four decks were identical, and the fourth deck was different. So, do you think that maybe they just have a pulse on the meta, and because they share their information so well, that it's making them such a dominant force as a country?
Yes, I definitely feel like they work together better than possibly some other groups. Now, I know, teams all have their practice partners and the people that they test against, and that helps. But when you have a whole country basically on the same page, all the players working together to try to solve the meta and figure out, like you said, what exact, 90 or 120 cards are going to put you in the best position to win. Yes, I feel like that kind of gives you a bit of an edge.
Yeah, and it's definitely proven it here. The only thing I'm worried about is we're going to get into Grandmasters one season, and a majority of your EU is just going to be nothing but French players, because they're literally not going to. I mean, that's not a bad thing, but I like to see the diversity in something like Grandmasters. So if it ever comes to that point where EU is just 75% French players that have gotten promoted because of how well they're doing, do you think that's a time that Blizzard would want to change the way the regions are done, or is that okay?
I don't think so. I don't think we'll see Blizzard shake up regions anytime soon. Honestly, I think it would be all right. The EU has always had a pretty strong showing. And just because one country becomes a little more dominant, I don't think you shake up an entire region over something like that. I think it'll be fine.
Cool.
So, all right.
Speaking of esports,
yes,
you put this next topic in here about an interview with Hearthstone Esports product manager Drew Higbee. This was done by HSReplay.
Yes, it is.
You want to go in a little bit about that?
So this came out. This may have come out last Sunday or Monday. I can't remember exactly what day.
February 3rd.
February 3rd. So yeah, that was
Saturday.
No, February 3rd was last Monday. Yeah. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, Monday. That's right.
This came out right after we recorded last week, and there was a lot of people reacting to this on Twitter, and basically they were talking about making the move from Twitch to YouTube gaming and what changes were going to be coming to Grandmasters in 2020. But one of the biggest takeaways from this was when HSReplay asked, one of the main requests from aspiring players and Grandmasters alike is the implementation of a secondary league or a stepping stone between pro players and aspiring players, to which Hearthstone Esports product manager Drew Higbee replied, "We have an awesome stepping stone in the Masters Tours. You progress from Masters qualifiers to Masters Tours, and then to Grandmasters. We've opened that up more this year with 3 relegation spots per season instead of 2, and double the amount of Masters Tours. There's a consistency across all the seasons for the Masters Tours. If you perform well at a Masters Tour, you will make it into Grandmasters. There's a lot of content and prize pools going into the players. However, a lot of your big name players were saying this is not exactly the case. And, you know, one of the things I kept seeing repeated over and over was, is Blizzard out of touch with the reality of their player base? Because you're saying that grinding multiple Masters qualifiers every day is a viable platform for the off chance to become one of 300-ish competitors to play in a tournament, if you can afford to travel to said venue. That's a lot of ifs for the implementation of a secondary league. And it just almost feels like Blizzard goes, here's what you guys want, whether it's feasible and economical or not. This is what you're getting.
Yeah, see, this is something I've brought up in the past, that a lot of people have asked for a stepping stone up into Grandmasters that's viable, and I've said this before. Blizzard's esports team, and this is Drew Higbee saying it, believes that the Masters Tour is that stepping stone. And I've been saying it ever since the new system has been out there. Now, do I believe it's a viable stepping stone for these professional Hearthstone players to rely on the Masters Tour as a source of income and competitive integrity before they can qualify into Grandmasters? No, I don't think it is. But I still, obviously it's justified now, I have always believed that Drew Higbee believed that was the case. And that is still the case in his mind, that the Masters Tour is good enough for these pro players before they can get into the Masters Tour. And I don't agree. I don't agree with him on this. And this goes back to my point before, that Hearthstone Esports were at its best with Chen Cho. When Cho was running Esports, things were good. And now that he left to go to another organization, another company, and just Drew Higbee has been put in this position, he doesn't know what he's doing. And he's trying. I do believe he wants what's best for Hearthstone Esports. I just think it's good initiative, bad judgment. I just don't think he knows what the players want. Now, they have recently been doing more player summits and trying to get more information. Grandmasters is changing to a rotating format, which I think is going to be great for viewer support. And according to this article, it was a request from the Grandmasters players that Drew Higbee put this into place. So he's clearly listening to the players. It's just, right now it's not happening fast enough for the players.
Yeah, I think that's something else to bring up, is that after this article came out, and after Masters Tour Arlington wrapped, there was a 3-day or 2 or 3 day Grandmasters Summit in Arlington with all of the Grandmasters, which was really interesting feedback from the players. Because if you follow the Grandmasters on Twitter, Firebat, Tice, both of them for sure tweeted, was about to turn in my notice for that I was quitting Grandmasters, but after this summit, I feel a little bit better about where it's headed and how it's being handled, and so they're going to stick around. But you almost lost the first world champion and one of the biggest fan favorites in the world, you know, because of this format that you feel like is is what the players want.
And you could speculate that you already lost Amnesiac.
Right.
Because maybe if Amnesiac was able to go to the summit, he might have changed his mind. Again, who knows?
It's
he might have had other
speculation.
reasons.
Yeah, we don't know.
That's speculation. Now, another thing on that is it's not been very good and communicated, but during the broadcast this last week of Arlington, it was kind of snuck in there about the America's Grandmaster player, Papa Jason.
Yes.
Which a lot of people, if you remember, Papa Jason barely missed out. Language Hacker got that spot over Papa Jason. So that means, or is Language Hacker or Empanizado, one of the two, got that spot over Papa Jason. So that means that Papa Jason took the Amnesiac spot.
That is correct.
And that's another thing that there wasn't a blog post on it. It was just kind of mentioned in passing on the broadcast. So it's really important that the esports team on Hearthstone does a good job of letting the viewers and players know who's being promoted, not, and that was another missed mark. I'm hoping with this summit and the fact that Drew Higbee is doing more to communicate with the players, and if he can make the players happy, then that means the players coming up into the organization are going to feel like it's worth it, and maybe the Masters Tour can be that gap being bridged. I think with 6 tour stops this year instead of 3, and the introduction of DreamHack hosting a lot of these Masters Tour events, we might see the Masters Tour become that kind of proving ground and that pool that you can compete in. It's not going to be the HCT, but the HCT was probably one of the best organizations for Hearthstone esports to date. Honestly, it's going to be hard to do as good as HCT without just mimicking that format.
Yeah. All right. So that pretty much covers that. If you guys have any thoughts about this Masters Tour system and the Grandmaster system, please send us an email at heropowerpodcast@gmail.com or tweet us at heropower_cast and let us know your thoughts about the Hearthstone esports environment right now. We'd love to hear from you guys. So also this week on Tuesday, that would have been February the 4th, we got Chapter 3 of Galakron's Awakening, and as I mentioned, I just finished it right before the show started because I needed to unlock cards for this week's deck, and I have to say I really had a blast with this chapter. Zerotio, what was some of your favorite things that they did in Chapter 3 to differentiate from the previous chapters?
Okay, so with these linear storylines, there's always been a pattern. Week 1, the Chapter 1 tends to be kind of easy. Chapter 2 seems to be more difficult. And then when you get into Chapter 3, the difficulty seems to go down a bit, but the story seems to ramp up. I don't think it was as easy as Week 1, and I don't think it was as difficult as Week 2. But you had some interesting fights where it was like a modified chest battle from Karazhan, where the minions auto-attacked across from themselves. But it was, instead of being a chest battle, it was like an aerial battle where your minions were like fighter jets and stuff, and their minions were like fighter jets and copters and stuff, and they were just auto-attacking back and forth, and they did certain things. I really, really liked the story they told. And the fact that you could go around in Heroic and use a custom deck that's not designed for those type of fights, that was really interesting and unique. Because being able to do it with a stock deck, it's designed for that combat, and then having to do it with just standard cards, in a way, I mean, you could use wild cards, but just regular Hearthstone cards in a way that's not designed to beat that deck gets really, you really have to think outside the box. And it didn't take me long to knock this one out. It took me about 2.5 hours to get rid of normal and heroic. But it's something I might actually go back and play again, because there's some really unique combats in this third chapter. I'm really excited for chapter 4.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The fights that you were just talking about, where it's the positioning fights. It basically, if you're not familiar, it's airship versus airship, and you have these cannons, and oh my gosh, it is so much fun, and I love these positioning type battles. They, you have to figure out if these two are going to attack the thing in front of it, which way do I slide them by playing a minion on the left or the right? And that, to me, is some of the most fun solo content there is out there.
And then you have the ones that summon rush minions, which could throw off, depending where you put it, throw off where you put your other minions. And there's some that shuffle bombs in your opponent's deck. It's definitely a step up from the chess encounter. It wasn't just a reskinned chess encounter. They used mechanics that you didn't get in that Karazhan chess encounter. It wasn't just attacking and healing minions, and it was summoning other minions and putting bombs in your opponent's deck, and healing other mechs. I just had a lot of fun with it.
Yes,
and that's something that I tend to embrace the solo content as enjoy the story, but I want to accomplish the heroic, and I want to get all the accolades. I want to get all the card backs. But I'm taking a step back and enjoying this story. Now, Dave Kosak came out and said that they've enjoyed telling this year-long story, and it may be something they go back to again. But it doesn't sound like...
I wish they would. This has been the best year of Hearthstone.
It sounds like the sets coming out in 2020 aren't going to be a linear story progression like Descent of Dragons and the whole Year of the Dragon has been. So if they're not going to tell that linear story and expect this solo content and sets to kind of gel like they are now, they must have some really good stuff. And I have a feeling this solo adventure and these sets from 2019 Year of the Dragon are going to make this coming year, which we haven't heard the announcement of what it is yet, what the theme is. I think I'm worried 2020 is going to be a bad year for Hearthstone for content.
Yeah.
Because we're seeing some good stuff. Plus, some of these cards coming out in the Wing 3 are playable.
You mean Wing 4?
No, I'm talking about Wing 3.
The ones that just came out, yeah.
Waxmancy is being put into some of these rogue decks. That's the 2-mana spell, discover a battlecry minion, reduces cost by 2. Risky Skipper, the 1-mana 1/3 warrior that's a pirate. They're hot fixing that. Yeah. After you play a minion, deal 1 damage to all minions. I put that in the deck. The Boom Pistol Bully, the 5-mana 5/5 that increases your enemy's battlecries by 5 next turn. That's being put in a lot of decks.
Yeah.
Rottennest Drake, the 5-mana 6/5 dragon for Hunter. Battlecry if you're holding a dragon, destroy a random enemy minion. That's being put in that. There's a lot of hunters running that. So and we're running Sky General Crag tonight, which we'll see that. This Wing 3, I think, has the most playable of all the sets, of all the chapters so far. We haven't seen Chapter 4, which I think will be the most playable cards. But so far, they're knocking this out of park, and it's 100% been worth the $20 I spent on it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so that brings us to this week's Tavern Brawl.
Reminder, this Tuesday, the 11th, is Chapter 4.
Yes.
So, and that's the week that you can finish Heroic and get both card backs.
Yeah. So, all right, this week's Tavern Brawl is All-Star Squad. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You pick one card, and then you get 22 copies of it plus 8
Yeah,
random
yeah.
cards because it was pogo hoppers everywhere.
I didn't go pogo. Okay, so the description is spiders and portals have had their chance. Now you choose. Pick one card from your deck, and you will get 22 copies of it plus 8 random class cards. I didn't go pogo hoppers. I went violent spell wing. The violet spell wing from Mage is the 1 mana 1/1 elemental that has a death rattle to give you arcane missiles.
Yes.
So they're trying to kill off my spell wings, but I'm getting damage, or they just ignored my spell wings, so I clear their minions with my spell wing and then get 3 extra damage for 1 mana. I won and done this. I never saw pogos, but I guess pogos is probably the way to go with this. I mean,
Well,
to me it seems slow.
I went pogo, and by the time I played my third pogo hopper, my opponent just conceded.
Wow.
So
That's not even that big, bro.
no.
Do you even pogo, bro?
So, all right. That brings us to this week's deck analysis. And as we said back at the top of the show, this week's deck list is from our patron, Surgie. This is his version of Quest Hunter. So I will run down the deck list, and then we will discuss it a little bit, and then we'll go play it. So this deck is 1 copy of Unseal the Vault, which I just noticed is cut off at the top. The deck list is cut off at the top.
Weird. I wonder why it did that.
Actually, this deck list does not look correct at all.
Yeah, it is. Until the Vault's there.
Oh, okay. It's just not in the right order.
Not in the order according to. That's weird.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll read from the image. So it's 2 copies of Clear the Way, 2 Spring Paw, 2 Tracking, 1 Unseal the Vault, 2 Hinch Clan Hogsteed, 2 Licensed Adventurer, 2 Questing Explorer, 2 Desert Spear, 2 Diving Griffin, 1 copy of Snip Snap, 2 Unleash the Hounds, 1 Bone Wraith. Then you got the new card from Chapter 3, Sky General Crag. You got 2 Faceless Corruptors, and then you got Leroy Jenkins, Ziliax, 2 Swarm of Locusts, Varanus, and Boom Master Flark. So,
yeah, this is. Yeah, I think it might have been I copied the deck list from the website and then the image from the app. So that may have been what threw it off. So this and the one of the new cards in here, Sky General Crag, is the 4 mana 2/3 taunt. If you've played a quest at all this game, you get a 4/2 a parrot with Rush, and I think his name is Sharkbait. This is Quest Rogue. You want to flood the board, clear your opponent's minions, and then all of a sudden you get to fill the board with a bunch of minions, give them +2 attack, and destroy your opponent. It's a lot of fun. I had middling success with it. I think I ended. Let's see here. Looking at my stats, I ended 17-17, so right at a 50% win rate. So I was getting some very polarizing matchups, so I'm not sure exactly how that kind of worked out. I was getting a lot of other hunters, so I was 3-6 versus other hunters, and there's a lot of really good hunter decks out there, especially Highlander Hunter. And then it has some trouble against Priest, but all the other decks, it's really good against Druid. If you're seeing a lot of Druid, Embiggen Druid, and any Druid, this is the deck to play.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right. You got anything else you want to add before we move to the play portion of the show?
No, I just want to reiterate from what I said at the top of the show, that Kazuru, we're going to miss you. And you never know when you're going to lose a loved one or a friend. So if you have somebody you haven't talked to in a while and they just peek into your mind, just take a chance to call them up and say hi and let them know that you're thinking about them. And time is short. You never know when your time with somebody is going to be cut short.
That's absolutely right. Absolutely. So, all right, gang. Well, that's going to do it. If you're joining us on Twitch or YouTube, please stay tuned for the live play portion of the show. If you are listening via our audio podcast, we'd like to thank you for joining us. Remember, you can follow us on Twitter at HeroPower_cast. You can find all of our past episodes on YouTube at youtube.com/ECMMOGamers or on our website at HeroPowerHS.com. If you enjoy the show, you'd like to help support and improve it, you can do so by joining our Patreon over at patreon.com/HeroPower. And we'll see you all again next week.
And don't forget to use your hero power.
All right. Get fired up here. Wackiness in chat. Thank you. I don't know that I'd say it's so much better. From the Void had its own thing going with its own hosts, and it was rocking there for a while. Unfortunately, Eternal just hasn't seemed to have the staying power that we had hoped it would.
Wackiness. I'll say it was so much better than From the Void. And Travis, come at me, bro.
Aww. All right.
I love Human. He's one of my favorite people. He drives me crazy sometimes, but he's a good guy. Travis is a good guy.
Travis is a good guy. I hope his streams are doing well. I've been so busy I haven't had a chance to check in on his streams lately.
He just isn't streaming anything I want to watch. I like the guy. That's just Pokemon Sword and Shield. That's yeah.
All right. So what are we looking for in our mulligans here? Obviously, we're keeping Unseal the Vault.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you can keep the quest. We are facing a
Rogue.
Sorry, I'm still loading up here. I don't think you keep the Unleash the Hounds, the Corruptor, but the Griffin's probably a decent coin if he gets something out early, or it's just good draw engine.
Okay.
So I would keep the Vault and the Diving Griffin.
All right. We draw into Snip, Snap, and Spring Paw.
That's actually a pretty good curve. We can double Spring Paw if we have to. We can coin out the Snip Snap. Obviously, we're going to open up with the Unseal the Vault.
Yeah. Get started on that quest now.
And I like putting down a 3-mana Snip Snap just because it's 3 charges of our quest.
Uh-huh.
If they have to clear it. And I would coin out the Snip Snap this turn. And the main reason is because he's going to want to is it Seal Fate?
Yes.
The one that does 3 damage and gets a invoke on Galakron, but it's going to leave behind 2 1/1s. So that's kind of weird.
Okay. Hit
So
face.
this tells me he doesn't have Seal Fate in his hand at all. He doesn't have Backstab.
Do we just Diving Griffin here?
He can face take it, but that's 4 damage.
That's 4 damage.
And
or do we Spring Paw Hero Power?
I think we Spring Paw Hero Power because that's 2 guaranteed damage, and we still have the Griffin.
Right.
And we can Griffin into the other links next turn. It's better on our curve for turn 4 if we keep the Griffin.
Yeah. All right. So he's going to Devoted Maniac to invoke.
Okay. So that's why he popped it, because he was going to finish it off with Devoted Maniac.
Yes.
So he's prioritizing clearing beasts, which is actually good for us.
Okay. Desert Spear into links.
I don't hate that. We don't want to go through a lot of our cheap rushes too fast, but I think that's fine to do that this turn. I go ahead and hit phase 2.
Okay.
I don't think he runs Fan of Knives. And then play the links.
All right, so that gets us to 6. Are we just going to faceless? Are we going to attack with everything then faceless corruptor next turn?
I think so, unless he finds a way to clear this whole board. Oh, even if he clears the board, we can attack face and faceless the locust.
Right.
Oh, we really want him to clear our board because we want to set up for a good swarm of locusts and have plenty of room to get lots of charges. I mean, we're already 6-12. We're almost a third of the way through our quest.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, that's good.
So he's deciding if he wants to play the second
lackey.
Whatever lackey, which if it was Titanic lackey, I think it would have came down already.
Yeah.
It's not the Rush lackey. I don't think it's Kobold.
Okay, so he's choosing to clear him back.
It's probably the spell or Draconic.
Okay, so we draw a licensed adventurer. Battle cry, if you control a quest, add a coin. Do we stick to our faceless corruptor plan and clear?
I think what we do is we face tank the Draconic lackey.
Yeah.
And then we faceless the token we generated. Clear the 1/4 and go face.
Okay.
Yeah, we're in a good spot right now.
I agree.
And him holding, I'm wondering if he's trying to set up for a really big Edwin turn. Because him holding, I can't think of a lackey he wouldn't have wanted to play there. Which makes me think he has an Edwin in his hand and he's trying to maximize his Edwin. And we need to put him in a position that him playing an Edwin is gonna be bad.
There's Ziliax.
Okay.
So we don't really have any way to get rid of it without running the faceless into it.
Yeah, I think we diving Griffin.
And run the diving
Griffin into it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. And then probably play the license adventurer and go face.
Yeah.
I would not send our face.
Okay.
Because we want to have that token generation just in case we want to face this corruptor.
Okay.
If they happen to clear the board. And that 1 damage is negligible this turn.
Right.
Yeah, I can't imagine what he has in his hand. He look how big his hand is. He's got 10 cards in his hand.
Yeah. Yeah,
he's really behind.
Full. So there's Seal Fate.
There's the Seal Fate. He's got hand size issues.
He does.
There's a Draconic lackey. He's still not playing the 1 lackey.
Still gonna
Maybe it's Witchy lackey?
Card back in his hand.
Maybe that lackey was a Witchy lackey, and that's why he didn't play it. Which meant he was planning on trying to bounce back the evil miscreant. It's fun. Yeah, there's a Witchy lackey. Okay.
All right, Wackiness said, would it be bad to play the 2-drop and use the coins to coin out the faceless, or is it better to save the 2-drop for other stuff?
Yeah, I like saving that 2-drop. Ooh, okay, hold on. Let's count what we got.
So this is Scout General Craig. This is the one we were just talking about. Taunt, Battle Cry. If you've played a quest this game, summon a 4/2 with Rush.
So we've got 9. If we hit the Thalnos, he's going to overdraw.
Okay.
So I think we start by smacking our face with Thalnos. I think that happens. I like using Faceless on the token we just summoned and then Hero Power Face.
Okay.
And then just hit it with one of the Facelesses that are summoned this turn. This is not expending
face.
too much out of our hands,
Right.
and it's just setting up lethal.
He burned
Oh,
his
he lose-
faceless.
That's
Was really hoping for Galakron, but
yeah, that's what I was hoping for too. Galakron or Togwaggle, one of the two. We haven't seen Kronk yet, which is good. Where are we at on our quest? We got 8 left.
yeah, but he's only at 6 health and has 4 mana left, so he's running out of options really fast.
Yeah, he is. And if he clears this board, he might fall into an Unleashed Lethal. Here's all those lackeys. I really think he should have played those lackeys earlier.
Yeah, I agree. He's
2
down to
mana,
5.
he's done.
He's dead.
He's done. Yeah. I just think he misplayed. I just think he was way too passive and not aggressive enough with his lackey.
Yeah.
I think he was wanting to return the Evil Miscreant back to his hand, and so he probably had a Shadow Step. But we were going to kill that Miscreant, so he should have just Witchy Lackey that Miscreant that turn instead of holding the Witchy Lackey.
Right.
He had 1 mana. He could have played it. And that could have changed our trades dramatically.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Game 1 in the books. Now we're facing a Warlock.
Wow.
So, obviously... Oh, look at that curve. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2. Well, and the Boommaster Flark.
Yeah, we're going to throw that back.
Yeah, we're going to throw that back. Oh, yeah, I like that. The Diving Griffin's going to be good to trade into his turn 3 play.
Into a coin faceless on 4.
If we can get something to stick.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I would like to draw a Desert Spear to play it instead of the Griffin on 3.
Questing Explorer.
Yeah. And you'll want to play Questing Explorer over
Correct.
the Adventurer. Though there's merit if you play the Adventurer and he doesn't play anything big to develop, you could double coin out the Faceless.
Okay.
Oh.
How worried are we about that Knife Juggler?
Not terribly worried right now.
So we're going to just Questing Explorer as planned.
I'd say we Questing it. Yeah, let's Questing Explorer. If I thought the Licensed Adventurer would live, I'd Licensed Adventurer. But if he would have tapped, I probably would have Licensed Adventurer. We're going to kill this Knife Juggler on turn 3, regardless of what we get.
Okay.
We're going to try at least.
Woo.
Oh, and he goes face?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Questing Explorer into the Juggler.
And then we
Diving Griffin into the 4.
play the Griffin. But don't rush in yet. Okay. Griffin into the 4-1.
Okay.
Reason I didn't want you to rush in is if we drew Spring Paul, we could coin Spring Paul out.
Gotcha.
And then not attack with the Griffin. Or use the Griffin to clear the... Use Griffin to clear the Juggler and then go face.
Right, right. So he
Another
had the
Juggler?
other Juggler in hand, which is fine.
This is clearly classic Zoo.
Yeah. What do you think about coining out Ziliax here?
That was going to be my thought, is coining out Ziliax. But the other play is... well, no, that's not
yeah. I mean, we could unleash and kill everything but the egg.
I still like the Ziliax.
Okay.
I still like the Ziliax. It's going to make him play his own Ziliax or have to put multiple minions into it.
Right.
Or other... I mean, he obviously could use that card that destroys a minion to give minions +1/+1. Regardless of what he does here, I think he sets up to Really bad Unleash the Hounds for him. Fiendish Rights, okay.
Wackiness says, is it just me or does it feel like Blizzard phoned it in with the latest adventure? The boss fights are relatively easy. The heroics, you just use your own decks. And this past week, we basically had 3 of the same fight with the cannons. You know, we were talking about that in the main part of the show. I really enjoyed the cannon fight because placement is key. If I don't know, Wackiness, if you remember the chess event from Karazhan, but this was very reminiscent of that, and I really enjoyed that. You actually had to put some thought into where your guys were placed.
I can't say they phoned it in because I think they did a great job with the story. I like Crag here, but I think we play the Licensed Adventurer first and then coin out Crag.
What about Unleash to clear all these 2/1s?
Can we get a better Unleash later? We're not taking a lot of damage.
I don't know if we can.
Okay, what about Licensed Adventurer into Unleash?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Okay. And clear all the 2/1s and go face with the last one?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, they're not terribly difficult, but linear storylines never really are that difficult. Because especially when they give out cards, because they want you to get the cards. So if they make it super, super hard and it's difficult to get the cards, then that's really hard. I think the heroics could be a little more difficult. Maybe just building your own deck isn't the way. But I've been satisfied with it.
Okay, this is where I think we play Sky General Crag and use the Parrot to clear the Evil Genius.
No.
No?
You use Diving Griffin to clear Evil Genius, then coin out the Parrot. Coin out.
Bone Wraith?
No, we coin out Sky General Crag.
Okay.
Just because we can trade in something with the Parrot, and the Parrot still lives.
Gotcha.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
I would probably clear both of the lackeys. I don't think he runs to Khan, but you don't know.
Right.
He could run to Khan. Which I expect to see a lot of Zoo next week when the new lackey legendary comes out.
Veiled Worshipper.
Okay.
If you've invoked twice, draw 3 cards. So he's refilling his hand.
So all 3 of these scarabs are going to go into 2/3. Oh no! Still have to send 2 scarabs in though.
Loved You Too says, I don't have Flark, Varanus, or Leroy. What can I use for subs? Do you think a Reckless, the 5/2 minion in place of Leroy?
Yeah, you could always use a 5/2 Reckless Rocketeer in place of Leroy. Varanus is a tough thing to sub for. And Flark, anything that generates extra bodies, you probably put Explodinator in place of Flark and be fine.
So what do you think about sending the 3/1 to face and then facelessing it and hero power?
Okay, so if you play the Hench Clan Hogsteed, run it into the 6/5 and then run the 3/1 into 6/5.
Okay.
You can then take the Murloc and turn it in faceless it.
Okay.
And then you can clear two of the 1/1s and have 2 4/3s on the board still. That's probably a cleaner line.
Yeah, I agree.
We don't get the face damage, but I don't think we need the face damage right now. We need to keep killing our minions so we can summon more minions.
Yeah. So there is
a Kingdom for a
Shield of Galakron.
Swarm of Locusts.
Actually, I would like to have a Desert Spear right here, I think.
Well, Swarm of Locusts would allow us to finish our quest.
That's true.
And if we top deck it, which we didn't.
Unleash the Hounds will let us finish too.
It will. We would have to run one of these faceless into the 4/5 first. And then we unleash and then hero power.
Yep.
Probably should have hero powered first to do 2 damage, but
yeah.
now that I think about it. And then we just hero power, just trade like crazy. And then we could probably tracking.
Should we send all this face?
I think this all goes face. Yeah, I think all this goes face. Let's go ahead and tracking.
Desert Spear?
Yeah, Desert Spear. We won't be able to play it this turn, but I like it with the Faceless Corruptor.
Yeah.
But Lethal's on board, so he has to deal with these.
Right. He has to at least clear the 3/1 Hounds.
Wait, what? Okay.
Loved You Too asks, is this deck better than all the other Hunter decks? I don't think so. I think it's really a half dozen of one, 6 of the other. You're looking at this deck, when it goes off, Highlander Hunter is really strong right now because you've got options for just about everything. See, there's another big Hunter deck out there right now that I can't think of.
So Swarm of Locusts, hero power?
Yeah.
And then we can save 2 of the Locusts. I think we clear all the minions, though.
I agree.
We've got 8 out of hand with Leroy. So we just got to make up 4 more damage. Also, if you have Shuma, if you happen to have Shuma but not Boommaster Flark, Shuma works in place of Boommaster Flark as well. But you could use like Explodinators.
Twisting Nether. Yes, thank you. Because
now
we're going to Desert Spear, Bone Wraith, and...
Yeah. And then I use the hero power just to go ahead and represent damage on the board.
Yep.
I'm just kind of curious at the Twisting Nether he found off of a lackey, Ethereal Lackey.
Yeah.
Okay, that wasn't in his deck. I was like, why would you put Twisting Nether in the deck?
Blazing Battle Mage doesn't help. Okay.
Yeah. And he's tapping.
We still win.
Yeah. That was a Titanic Lackey that would have caused us problems.
Exactly. All right.
Leroy, face it.
Leroy, hero power.
Hero power.
GG.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Wicked Good?
Hey, Wicked. Good to see you, man.
So that's 2-0.
That's 2-0 with this deck. You want to play one more?
Sure, yeah. Let's just do one more.
We've got a little time.
Yep. Works for me. Congrats on rank 15.
Yeah, I spend all my time in Battlegrounds and solo content now. Playing ladder is very rare for me.
Yeah, I thought I'd play again this week, but I was like, Avanties hasn't had enough time playing lately.
All right, so Unseal, Springpaw, Unleash against a Warrior. So what do you think?
I think we just go back the Unleash. We want to try to get the quest as quick as possible.
Right. That Henchclad Hogsteed helps get us there.
It will. So yeah, Unseal, probably Henchclan, no matter what he plays. Yeah, that works. We can clear it.
Yeah.
It's not a 1/3 bot.
Do we license adventure instead, or still go with the
I think we
rush?
still do it and leave the 1/1 on the board.
Okay. Yeah, we're glad you could catch the end of the show as well, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right, he's going to live wire Lance. Yep.
Okay.
So this feels like Control Warrior.
Maybe.
Do we just snip snap here?
I think we snip snap here because he probably has a rush minion. He probably has he used his coin, didn't he?
Yeah.
So he's not going to be able to play the 3/2 mummy because that's 4 mana. But this isn't an easy just trade with his weapon.
Right.
He's going to have to trade with his weapon and then get a good enough lackey to follow up.
Upgrade.
Okay, he can. He upgrade. Wow. Think this is an aggressive warrior, which means he's not playing it like he should, if that's the case.
Right. So he
should be going face.
Snap picked a dragon.
Yeah, that was a snap pick dragon.
Yeah.
Bone
Wraith?
tells me it could be Dragon Maul.
What do you think? Bone Wraith here, or
I like Bone Wraith. Yeah, I like the Bone Wraith here.
And trade into the lackey?
Yeah, let's trade into that lackey. I think we're probably going to try to get the license adventure out this next turn so we can coin out Boommaster Flark on 6.
Okay.
There's the mummy. This isn't a... He's using a lot of resources. He used a Reborn Rush minion and his last charge on his weapon.
Yeah.
And he has nothing else to play because he's out of mana.
Right.
So
I think
license.
Unlicensed Spring Paw Hero Power?
Yeah. And while he deals with this, we can Boommaster Flark next turn.
Exactly.
That'll put us to 14. Yeah, 14 on our quest. Told you, it was Dragon Ball Scorcher.
Yep.
Because he was expecting a lot of 1 health. Ooh.
Okay. We could.
I think we still Flark.
Okay. Do we go face with the Adventurer?
Yes. Because he's going to trade that 3/6. He has to. The reason I say we do it this way is because we might be able to play the Swarm of Locusts or the Unleash after we finish quest. And if that's the case, then we'll have a lot more agency with those rush or charge meetings.
Right.
That's a weird grab. Give him in your hand +1/+. Ooh, that's kind of rough.
Yeah, he got that off the live wire, Lance, so.
Yeah. Random pirate. This is a weird deck. It's like pirates and dragons.
Oh my.
Well, I guess it's not dragons. Oh, whoa. Okay, like I said, this is a face deck, and he's not been playing it like a face deck.
Yeah.
So he's going to trade into the 3/6.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see here. I think we definitely play Hyena.
You mean the Lynx?
Lynx. Yeah, play the Lynx. And run it into the 3/3.
Okay.
Then play Desert Spear.
Okay.
Hit it in the 3/3, and then run our token into the 3/3. And then our 5/5 is going to go into the 4/3. I didn't expect him to go so crazy
so
on the
wide.
board.
Yeah.
We can't. How far are we from our quest?
We're 4
4?
away. So
Okay. So I think we can go ahead and if we unleash, we can kill a 2/2.
yes.
Yeah, I think
Do
we
we need
unleash.
to? Should we just?
Yeah, let's just hero power.
That's what I'm thinking.
I just don't think he's going to clear the bombs, and now
He's not, but he's going to clear Flark, which will open up 3 spots, and we can use our Locust token.
That's right.
Plus,
there's the one I was missing.
Plus the Unleash next turn.
Ooh, that's big.
And then start sending in the bombs.
Yeah. So we're going to punch him in the face first. And then we're going to just send a 1/1 into the 10/6.
Okay.
Then we're going to hero power first.
Yeah. And then
Unleash. And then hero power. That's good. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we could send a bomb and a hound into the 10/5. And then just clear all the rest of the minions with our other minions.
Correct.
Send a hound into the 3/3. And then just, clear all these with the bombs. It's going to also do damage to his face.
Yep.
There we go. So so if he buffed up a Leroy, we might have problems. But other than that, I don't think.
Yeah, I think this is, unless he's got, like you said, a buffed up Leroy or a taunt.
Maybe
a
buffed up Corcoran.
He can hit us. He can hit us for 5.
He has to come up with 8 damage.
Yeah.
He's used 1 Corcoran. Heroic Strike.
There's 9.
Now he has to come up with 4 damage. 3 damage.
10.
If he has Corcoran, it's lethal. Nope. It's not Corcoran.
Not. Nope.
That's it. We got it. Hero power is lethal.
He was just showing us how close he was.
So I think the reason he lost that game is he was way too worried about board.
Yeah.
He needed to just go face. He spent at least 12 damage on our board.
Yes.
And he should have just. I mean, he's an aggressive deck, so he just played that wrong.
Yeah.
Yep. He did not live the Smork life.
Always go face when you have the chance. So, all right, gang. Wicked Good says, and that's why my played win rate is bad. So
that's why played win rate is bad. It's 100%.
Yeah. So, all right, gang. That's going to do it for us this week. If you have any questions or comments about the show, please email us at heropowerpodcast@gmail.com. Hit that subscribe button below on YouTube if you haven't done so already, or give us a follow here on Twitch to be alerted when we go live. If you are interested in our patron-only Discord, you can head over to patreon.com/heropower and get all the details, and you can join that for as little as $1 a month. All right, guys. Until next week, good gaming.
Bye, guys.